Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. So we're back with issue 41 and it's time for us to dive into our lore articles. Just the one page to actually look at, and that's all about the Chaos God Slaanesh. But we do have some naming articles for our Orc Warboss and Orc characters. So we'll look at those and we can name our Orc Warboss and find out his really cool name. Like I said, not a lot to do. But before we hit the table, don't forget to, of course, do all the usual. Like this video if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and drop me a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys. It goes a massive way to help me out the channel. Another way to help out the channel is, of course, support the channel. There's links for various different ways to support the channel in the video description down below. So check them out, and any help is greatly appreciated. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by Warbait.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. Add more to your green horde by checking out the Orc section. Or if you're into a different faction, they have quite a lot of variety. They've got various Space Marines of different flavours. They've got, of course, all your Xenos and all your Chaos armies as well. They also stock past and present partworks from Hachette and collectible items as well. So check out Warbay.shop. There's a link in the video description, or you can head down to their physical store. Right, let's go do some reading and name our boss. Hello, welcome back to issue 41 of Combat Patrol, and we're here with our Orc Warboss who's about to get his name. So first off, we got one lore article to read, and then we're into our collect articles. So I'll put this guy off to the side as we'll be trying him out in battle very soon. But first, let's adjust the camera and dive right on into our magazine. So into the magazine we go, past our build and paint guides for our Orc Warboss. And we end, boom, on Slaanesh. So our second to... No, this is our final Chaos God. We've had all of them now. So our final Chaos God background for the main pantheon. Slaanesh. Slaanesh is the Chaos God of excess. He is a master of excess, delighting in extremes of emotion and sensation. Slaanesh is known to his followers as the Dark Prince and the Prince of Pleasure, among many other names. To the Eldari, Slaanesh is known as She Who Thirsts, the ancient bane of their dwindling species. Slaanesh is associated with temptation, sensation, pleasure, growing stronger from his followers, indulging in their hidden desires and their deepest wants. Whatever the motivations of his followers, he quickly perverts their aspirations to his own foul ends, turning confidence to arrogance, desire to envy, and bravery to battle lust and sadism. Slaanesh's appearance often follows the darkest desires of his worshippers, and so he may appear as a reflection of that which tempts them the most. To many he appears as an elegant and graceful figure, full of beauty and apparent innocence, yet behind his unimpeachable appearance lies a treacherous and deadly god, capable of stealing away the souls of those before him with nothing more than a glance. A keeper of secrets casts a deadly spell at the cowering enemy forces. So we see the greater demon of Slaanesh there, a keeper of secrets. And like his patron god, embodies Slaanesh as a very effeminate yet masculine sort of appearance. They're often sort of half-half creatures, half male, half female, as they're viewed differently by each and every follower of Slaanesh. And now over the page onto some of the key points of a Slaaneshi warhost. So we got the Contorted Epitome. The Contorted Epitome is a magical mirror that can cast deadly spells and hypnotize enemies as it slithers across the battlefield on writhing tentacles of razor-sharp steel. Fiends. Fiends of Slaanesh are deadly demonic creatures who enter battle surrounded by a stupefying cloud of aromatic vapors that saps their opponent's will to defend themselves. Hellflayers. A Hellflayer is a vicious device of sharpened wheels and blades that is crewed by a trio of demonettes. All in its path are doomed to be cut to bloody shreds. Keeper of Secrets. A majestic and graceful as they are powerful and deadly, a Keeper of Secrets is a greater demon and one of Slaanesh's most powerful demonic servants. So yeah, pretty good coverage there of Slaanesh and his or her war hosts. And sadly, a lot of these we don't actually see in 40k anymore. We have a small selection of Slaaneshi demons in the Emperor's Children Codex. Other than that, we do have the PDF. I believe it's Legends PDF though for a Chaos Demon host. Sadly, we're not getting a full codex anymore for Chaos Demons as a unified faction. It's kind of just small selections given over to one of the 4 major aligned Chaos Gods. But there we have it. That's our final page for our awesome Chaos Gods Pantheon there. Look at. So moving on swiftly, we got our character name and a naming chart for our Orc Warboss. So first we look then at character names for our Orc characters. Orcs have backgrounds that are as varied and colourful as their names and titles, from the lowliest boy to the mightiest boss. Roll on the tables below to discover the background and name of your Warboss in Mega Armour, the pilot of your Death Dread, and the Orc who drives your Boomdacker Snazwagon. So this is one we'll be using in a minute. So our Warboss in Mega Armour. An Orc Warboss stands out as being particularly terrifying, even amongst a throng of giant green screaming killers, and each of them has a fearsome background. So you can choose to add his title there, or roll randomly if you want. And we've got a little bit of background for each of the titles there. Over the page we've got our Death Dread. Volunteering to be placed in a Death Dread is a curious choice, even for most adult of Orcs. Accordingly, there is normally a compelling reason for doing so. Compelling to an Orc, anyway. Again, we got titles for that Death Dread and a little bit of background. And finally, we got our Boomdacker Snazwagon. All Orcs like a good fight, but the drivers of Boomdacker Snazwagons have an additional lust for speed and danger. And not every Orc is up to the challenge of crewing a speedster. So pretty cool. You got poor little Grot strapped to the front, Mad Max style. Another little Grot shooting out a little pistol. We've got an Orc with a Molotov cocktail on the back, ready to fling at the enemy, with a tri-barreled shooter. And then we've got the Orc driver leaning out the side as well. This is definitely going to be a fun model to build and paint when we come to getting it in the collection. So there we go. Moving on then, we've got our battle record for our Warboss. So we've got my dice, pen and a piece of paper on standby here. But first, let's learn a little bit about Warbosses. At the head of an unruly rabble of Orcs is a leader capable of bullying and kicking them towards some sort of shared goal, usually a great opportunity for applied violence. The Warboss is one such leader who delights in command and control of his fellow Orcs, almost as much as he enjoys brutality and war. So, we've got a trio of names here, none of which I really quite like. So we'll roll and we'll go with what we get. So put paper underneath and we'll roll 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6. 5 or 6, we've got Lurbag. And we'll turn the page and get his title. 2. Lurbag Gitsmacker. 1k or 2ks? 2ks. So Lurbag Gitsmacker smacks Gits with his bag full of Lurpak. Right, so as usual we've built and we've painted, and while we're here we'll take off play, as we'll be doing that next video. So in order to play we'll need his data record, and it's over the page, so let's take a look. So this is your first data sheet for your Orcs Combat Patrol. The data sheet contains all the information needed for your Orc Warboss and Mega Armor in games of Combat Patrol. File this data sheet away safely so that it's ready to use in games and scenarios in this and future issues. So our Warboss in Mega Armor has a movement of 5, a toughness of 6, so he's pretty tough, really tough. He has a 2+ save of 5+ invulnerable, 7 wounds, so he's pretty tanky, leadership 6+, and objective control of 1. The grot on top controls a big shooter, which is rapid fire 2, 3 shots, 4+ to hit, 5 of strength 5, no AP and 1 damage. So pretty small sort of firepower, but gives him a little bit of additional punch. Melee weapons then, he's got his Ooze Chopper, which is a melee weapon, 4 attacks, hits on a 2+, it's strength 12, -2 AP and 2 damage a pop. His faction is the War, he's got Dead Hard, so when you call a War until the start of your next battle round, this model has a Feel No Pain 4+ ability, so it makes him a little bit more durable when he's fueled with War energy. So keywords, he's an infantry character and Warboss and belongs to the Orcs faction. And we got the War ability here, which we'll be learning more about in a future issue when we get to the factions. But once per battle, at the start of a battle round, you can call a War. If you do, until the start of the next battle round, Orc units from your army are eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which they advanced. You add 1 to strength of attacks of melee weapons equipped to Orc models. And Orc models from your army all gain a 5+ invulnerable save. So pretty cool. Adding in his own 4+ Feel No Pain makes him a really dangerous threat. So there we go, that's it for this issue. Up next, we thump the gits with our latest scenario. So join me for that, and for now, we'll bring out Warboss in and we'll say our goodbyes. So there we go, that was our collect and read articles for issue 41. And yeah, it's getting into a good position now that we're ready to start adding these orcs to our armies, and it's going to be a fun little journey. So I've not actually messed with any of the orc models, so this is going to be really enjoyable for me. Quite enjoyed building and painting this guy. He's an awesome model, really ferocious, and yeah, stands out against the rest of the orc horde as a big boss. So up next then, like I said, we've got our battle where we get to try this guy out as he attempts to stomp flat some Eldari, those pointed gits, as they're trying to set up a weapon platform to harass an orc force. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed this short and sweet video. If so, don't forget to, of course, drop a like down below and drop me a comment down below as well if you're enjoying the series. All that's left for me to do then is say thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time for more Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.